whilst I play the video here, introduce yourself and what the game is.
Sure. So, as Brody very sweetly said, my name is Rue. I am the technical director and co-founder of the R&D department, and we are making a minimalist puzzle game called Cube that's always bigger than you think it is.
Mhm.
Um, it started off as a little student project that myself and the other co-founder Dan, Rupert and Dan, the R&D department. Um,
Oh, that
yeah.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's a bit of a pun. It was like it's we like to think of it like sort of amateur sciencey, like
Mhm.
we're sort of backyard science, but also it's Rue and Dan.
Right.
It started off as a student project when we were working together at AIE,
Mhm.
and originally it was just a thing. All of this has been very lucky
Mm.
from the outset in that we both rocked up late on the day that that teams are assigned.
Mm.
And my beautiful instructor Orion just said, "All right, you guys just go on this like leftover team. That's fine." And we made a game called Cube Daddy,
Mhm.
which was the very bare bones kind of version of what ended up becoming Cube.
Mm.
And on that assessment, we deliberately made a game that would be like polished and like ready enough to take that could be selected to go to PAX with
Right.
AIE because AIE have a booth at PAX, and we really wanted to do that.
Mm.
So we made Cube Daddy small enough and tight enough and polished enough to be that, and luckily it was.
Mm.
And then on the Friday morning of PAX Day 1, 2024, about 2 hours in, we looked at each other after the booth had been packed nonstop from minute one,
Mm.
and we were like, "Do we kind of have something here that kind
Mhm.
of goaded with the source? Is it like it's always been something that like kind of just tickled us,
Right.
and so we wanted it to exist, and so now it exists. But
Mhm.
especially early on, we didn't really stop and think about who would enjoy it, and we were like baffled to find that kids love it.
Mhm.
It's very due to one of the constraints that was upon us in the original assignment.
Mm.
It needed to be it was like you needed to make a game to fit a brief,
Mm.
and the brief that we chose was the abstract brief, and part of that was no UI, and that the game needed to like you needed to find and figure out what you're supposed to do by playing it, and a lot of Cube is that. So yeah.
So for anyone just listening, what is the gameplay of this? Anyone, I've got the video
Yes.
playing here. So for anyone seeing this
Yes.
on YouTube, they'll see it. But I do have a bunch of
Yeah.
Spotify listeners as well.
Yeah. No stress. So the gameplay of Cube is you are a cube and you roll around in abstract worlds, solving puzzles, and I don't want to say too much. I don't want to say too much. It's
Okay.
always
Okay.
it's uh I'll just say that the game is always bigger than you think it is.
Hmm. Well, that would lead into something I want to talk about a bit later, unless you want to get into it
Yes.
now.
No, we can. I don't mind.
So the game itself is very like it's very simple from the outset. You'll pick it up pretty easily as long as you understand
Yes.
how to move in a video game.
Yeah,
Everything else from there, I feel, comes quite naturally. So
pretty much.
basically,
It
right, go on.
Oh, I was going to say we actually at Avcon we had a dear grandma come who was supervising her kids
Mm,
who didn't know how to play games,
mm,
and she finished the demo,
mm,
which was very fun.
mm,
Just like
mm,
we had to teach her what a thumbstick does,
mm.
and she was able to beat it, which I found to be like a huge win.
Yeah, I'm just got to like 4 minutes in. I just got to the bit in the video where you are with another cube and you can like flip which one's on the top and the
Yeah,
bottom.
yeah,
That's at least from the demo that was at Avcon, the only other kind of interaction you need to know.
correct.
I don't know if that's going to expand later on. Judging by what you said, there's probably going to be more that
Yes,
happens. Um,
there is.
okay.
We're gonna because we want to end up on mobile eventually as
Mm,
well. We want to keep the controls to movement and interact.
right. Okay.
So what that interact does will vary,
Mhm.
but yes, that's the first example of something that you can press the button to do.
Mhm. Yeah, so for anyone who didn't see that, basically what you do is you find another cube that's sitting around, and you can use this cube as sort of like a step to get to a higher position into the level.
Yeah, we call them carryables.
Okay.
And so it's a block that you can use to traverse too high, like a wall that is 2 blocks high, or we have plans in the future to, of course, use it as like a weighted thing to weigh down stuff. We've got lots of really exciting things in mind. I should say though that to make this a better auditory experience is that the unique mechanic is what we call cubing up, where throughout the world there are incomplete cubes that have an eighth of the cube missing on one of the corners, and if you roll into that spot, you become that bigger cube, and the level around you becomes suddenly more accessible because of your larger scale.
Yeah, I found that to be like a really, it's like a simple mechanic, but it's also a very neat mechanic. Like it's a way to expand upon the world in a way that's quite subtle, but intuitively makes sense once you've done it that first time. Like it's pretty,
Exactly.
like the first time it's introduced, it's pretty straightforward that that's the thing you need to do. And then once you've got that idea in your head, then that's like an idea that you carry forward. It's like, okay, if I see something like this, and are they color coded?
They are at the moment. We're thinking of keeping them that way. Something that I want to do for the full release is a sort of like Elden Ring Side of Grace, sort of like golden particle trail effect to make it even more clear.
Right.
But at the moment, it's all through color design.
So is that, you mentioned earlier the idea of like not having a UI, is that like something you want to continue down that path? Like this?
Yeah. Yeah, we something that we've been using internally is that we're trying to make Monument Valley for kids. And so it's the UI free design has quickly become like a core part of it, and we want to make it sort of like a minimalist experience.
Right. I think at least with what exists so far in the game, granted, I'm someone who's played games my entire life, so I maybe am not the best person to get like feedback on this side of it.
No, please.
But everything kind of just made sense from what currently exists. I know, looking at the itch comment, at least when that comment was made, there were soft locks that did exist in the game. There are obviously bugs.
Yes,
I didn't run into any soft locks for me.
Yes,
but
it's because I fixed them instantly because I felt horrible.
Understandable.
We quite often what we did at PAX that was really successful that we replicated at AvCon is that we had 2 PCs set up. And what we like to do is use events like that as sort of a play test, which is what they should be used for, I think. It's like get people to play the game, but also just like let's test out the thing and iterate on it as fast as possible.
Right.
Like that is the point of the second
basically.
PC. Yeah, it's free QA, and we can use that second PC to make changes on the fly and test them in real time, which I love doing. It's kind of one of the best bits.
Okay.
And so there was a section, the second puzzle, the second carryable puzzle. There was quite a lot of friction. In a bad way. Friction. I like friction, but it was people were putting the controller down and walking away, which is too much friction. So I just like on the fly on day one. I think I added some crystals and a pressure plate to make it a bit clearer what we want you to do and where you want the player to go, and that little change immediately helped people just like know what to do next.
So you're going to use them as, I guess, a bunch of breadcrumbs, right? Like it's a trail of breadcrumbs.
Exactly. They're absolutely breadcrumbs. Yeah.